Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, following Ryan Garcia's 7th round knockout of Luke Campbell, people have been discussing Ryan Garcia's next fight, his next options, and where he should go next. Now, for me, the obvious route for Ryan Garcia is Devin Haney. Now, that's not to say there are no other good fights for Ryan Garcia right now, because there are. But to me, the option that makes the most sense, that is the most realistic to make, is Devin Haney. Of course, Ryan Garcia is the interim WBC champion. Devin Haney is the full champion. What's the point being the interim champion if you're not going to fight the full champion? Devin Haney is with the Zone. Ryan Garcia is with the Zone. There's no reason why that fight cannot happen next. Both guys have just fought, neither guy has a fight scheduled, so as far as I'm concerned, why not make that fight next? Both guys are young, unbeaten, hungry, and both guys are causing a lot of excitement in the lightweight division. Even if you make that fight right now, it's a big fight. Ryan Garcia's fan base is growing massively, of course, and even Devin Haney, he does have a fan base, so get those guys together, that's going to cause a lot of excitement, and you could be creative with it. If Canelo Alvarez fights in May on the Zone, on Mexican holiday, why not have Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney on the Friday before Canelo fights on the Saturday? Make it a real big weekend on the Mexican holiday. That would be a great look, and it would push that fight extremely well. There's no reason why Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia should not happen next. You know, I've seen some boxing fans online kind of insinuate that Devin Haney needs to earn a shot at Ryan Garcia. I mean, first and foremost, for better or worse, Devin Haney is the full WBC champion. Ryan Garcia is the interim champion. If you're going to hold that interim title and not try to fight Devin Haney, what's the point? I don't want to see Ryan Garcia sit on that belt and not fight Devin Haney. You know, people are saying, well, Devin Haney's not fought anybody, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that is true, his resume is lacking. But, you know, I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's got one decent win over Luke Campbell. Let's not make Luke Campbell out to be something he's not. Luke Campbell, at his best, is a low-level top 10 contender in the lightweight division, in my opinion. That's what Luke Campbell is. He's a fringe contender kind of thing. And listen, it's a better win than anything on Devin's resume, but that's irrelevant to me in this conversation. You know, it's one half-decent win. It doesn't change the fact that these guys need to fight next. It doesn't put Ryan Garcia in some privileged position where he can make Devin Haney jump through hoops to get this fight. You've got the interim title. If you're going to have that title, fight Devin Haney ASAP. Otherwise, what's the point holding that title in the first place? If you're holding that title and have no intention of fighting Haney, then I just think that's a little bit disingenuous, to be honest. Listen, I'm not saying Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is the only fight that could happen next. If Ryan Garcia fought Tank Davis, I'll be more than happy. If Devin Haney fights Teofimo, more than happy. But my point is, let's not play A-side, B-side. Let's not play the numbers game. We've got some real good young fighters in their early 20s to mid-20s in this lightweight division. And we could get some great fights from these guys. Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. If you match these guys together, we could get some great fights. But, you know, the fans out there who are batting for one side, talking about numbers, talking about A-side, B-side, you're not helping proceedings. And these will be the same people in 5 years' time, when none of these guys have fought each other. They'll be asking, well, why didn't these fights happen? It's because people like that, who play the numbers game, who bat for one side, who have an agenda, these are the guys who play into these promoters' hands. They gas their fighters up into believing that they don't need to take these sort of fights, when they do. There are some great fights in the lightweight division. If you could get a round robin going, and whoever comes out on top of that is going to be in a great position. It's going to be legacy defining, or legacy enhancing at least, you know. Some brilliant fights to be made, but again, it seems to me in 2020, 2021, these so-called social media pundits, it just seems more talk about numbers, social media following, A-side, B-side, more talk about that than actually forcing these fights through. You know, demanding these fights to happen. I don't care about Ryan Garcia's got one better win than Devin Haney. I don't care about that. Make the fight. Let's see how good Devin Haney is. Let's see if Devin Haney's better than Ryan Garcia. Or let's see if Ryan Garcia can become full champion. You know, these are the questions I have. I don't give a fuck who's got more followers on Instagram. You know, who brings more audience to the table. That's for the promoters, the managers, the TV executives, the negotiators. That's for them. We're boxing fans. You know, we're supposed to be salivating at the thought of these guys fighting each other, not breaking down their social media reach and whatnot. Do you get me? I'm just sick and tired of this mindset from so-called YouTube pundits and larger boxing Twitter accounts. We need to start holding these promoters to account. We're the consumer, we're not their fucking workers. And a lot of you guys act like employees of these promoters. You eat up all of the shit they give you and make excuses for why certain fights ain't happening. Like Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. See, most normal people want to see that fight. But there's a few people out there that I've seen say, oh, Devin Haney needs to do this, he needs to do that. Why? Make it now. Make it now. It needs to happen. Ultimately, we've got a great quartet of young fighters at lightweight, and as far as I'm concerned, it would be a travesty if these guys don't fight each other. So we need to apply that pressure on these guys, the promoters, the fighters. We need to be singing from the same hymn sheet on this, and that's where the whole YouTube boxing community messes up. You know, all of these divisions going back and forth on trivial nonsense. But ultimately, regardless of the differences we may have, our objective should remain the same, and that is to get the best fights possible, you know? But not everybody seems to abide by that on this whole YouTube stuff. But there we go, it is what it is. Share your thoughts below. It's been the Guy Delboy. Peace.